What's up, guys? Happy Friday. Welcome to Deal Desk. I make live calls on your leads. If you want me to call your leads live, you can head over to the reitoolbox.com to submit your leads for me to call live. I encourage you to warm up the leads before you call. Don't just find an address and send it to me and then we're cold calling. Please make sure that you see an opportunity or you have a conversation. That's where you're just going to learn the most. Okay. Anyways, let's get right into it. First property. This is in Tampa, Florida, Riverboat Drive. This is listed on the market. So remember, when these properties are listed with agents, you shouldn't be trying to negotiate with an agent. You should try to be getting some information and then making an offer. So let's see, 1 hour, 4 saves, 71 views. That's great. 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Let's take a look and run some comps real quick. So they're asking 280. Where is this in Tampa? Okay, this is a good area. This is Temple Terrace, good area. I'm going to run some quick comps just to let you know kind of where you need to be. Because sometimes if, the person picks up or not, at least you guys know when you submit these leads, what numbers would make sense when you do get a hold of them. Now, this property is in fair shape. This isn't need a full renovation. It could be renovated, but it could also be used as rental. What are they asking for this? 280. Square footage is important when you're looking at this stuff. Bedroom, bathroom, square footage, year built, condition. So I'm going to pull this up on PropStream real quick just to look at some comps. Okay. And this is about 1,200 square feet, built in 1990. There's actually a lot of activity in this neighborhood. So it looks like the ARV is around 360. There's an investor that bought one right down the street for 220. We have one that bought one for 265. That's good. One sold for 200,000. One sold for 335. But this is a buy and hold. Let me see what kind of condition this is. This is a different kind of property. You got to look at the outside as well. That makes a big difference. What does the outside of the house look like compared to the comp? So ours also has a 2-car garage. It's block. This one, they paid $265 and they flipped it for $365. This is actually a pretty good comp. So this one right here is a decent comp. When you see a photo on Zillow and you don't see anything else, make sure that you Google and you go to Realtor.com. Usually Realtor.com has some more activity, some more photos. So this is actually a full renovation. All right, so there's the photo that was on Zillow. Bathrooms, renovated. Yeah, so the ARV is 365. And it looks like they bought it for 265. Okay, so going back to our property here, they're asking 280. Our MAO's 255, in my opinion, because it's in good shape. This thing is, if somebody wanted to renovate it, they can. If they wanted to rent it, they could. But it's not like falling apart like most properties that we go after, right? So if our MAO is 255, that's actually the best comp. Then, and it's listed for 280. So this is the thing that I talk about a lot here. When the property's listed on the market, this is listed with an agent. I think it's going to sell probably at full asking, maybe a little bit less, but it's getting a lot of traction already. So this is listed. We can't remarket it close to this. So I'd probably be around 240. Okay. Because let's say you lock it up at 265, you remarket it for 275. I mean, that doesn't bring any value to your buyer, or whoever you market to can go straight to the agent. And I'm telling you right now, these buyers, some of these buyers, they'll try to count your pockets and see what you're reassigning it to. It doesn't matter who you are. If it's your first time dealing with them, I'm not saying all buyers are like that, but if you're bringing a deal for $5K less than what it's listed for, they know that you have it less than that, right? So like, let's say I try to remarket for 275. Okay, this guy has it for less than 275. It's listed. I can go directly with the realtor. I can make some of these buyers do that. If you're just doing assignments, all right, there's not enough spread here to double close. We're going to make an offer at 240 and see if they bite. I think this is a really good area. So let's give them a call and let's see what they say. Let's see what they say. Pictures I'm in. Let me see a description. Description. Doesn't say much about the condition. Talks more about the area. Perfect for investors or buyers eager to create their dream home. No HOA.
The tone. Please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang.
Let's call him back. We'll call back one more time and see if they pick up. I want to make sure. Yeah, there's only. Okay. Anthony. All right, let's call back. Your MAO on this would be 240, by the way.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone,
So
please
whenever I
record
give you guys the MAO, if you're new, it stands for maximum allowable offer. When you're starting to negotiate and talk about numbers, don't ever start with that number because they're always going to counter you. Most of the time, the agent or even the homeowner, they're just going to counter you, right? So always start a little bit lower. And if you know me, you know that I like to do something what's called anchor pricing. Anchor pricing is just simply finding a similar property to yours. It has to be same property type, and just letting the seller know what that sold for. And then most of the time they're not going to like it, or they're going to counter you, or they're going to get upset. But an anchor price is not your offer. It's just a way to set expectations low. And in some case scenarios, some investors will pay a lower price, but it's actually almost an identical comp. Now, if a buyer pays a lower price, it doesn't mean that that's exactly your MAO, because sometimes you'll find a high MAO and you'll find lower price points. And if you find that the purchase price with different comps are scattered, the common denominator is the ARV. So at the end of the day, look at the ARV, look at the comps. Do they make sense? Just because an investor bought one for 200,000 doesn't mean that that's your MAO. Just because an investor bought one for 230 doesn't mean that's your MAO. Sometimes you'll see a buyer pay really high, but the ARV is the common denominator across all the properties. And that's why you always want to look at ARVs as well when it comes to these things. Let's go to the next one. Let's see. What do we have here? All right. We have one in Texas. Elaine Drive. Let's take a look. Complete rehab needed. Oh, hold on. There's a few Elaine Drives here. Elaine Drive, Texas. Is this it? Katy, Texas? Hold on a second. No, this is Wake Village. Hold on a second. I was about to say this is fully renovated. You don't want to go after those 906. Okay. Let me see. Elaine Drive. There we go. A lot of properties, the same address. Okay, great. This is off market. I can't see the house, but that doesn't matter. Okay. This is off market, which is great. It's somewhere here. Is this like a little, it's a cul-de-sac? I don't know. All right. I don't know which property it is, but we're going to take a look. Somewhere behind the tree. All right. So what's the story with this one? Complete rehab needed. All right. They're asking 130 to 140. Reason for selling. I don't have an answer. I only got information in a text and have not spoken to the seller personally. Are there any important details? They want a 5K non-refundable deposit to close in 2 weeks. I believe it's presently occupied a month-to-month basis. Okay. Sounds like a wholesaler. Maybe not. Maybe they are. Let's give them a call and let's see what's going on. Remember, Texas is a non-disclosure state. So when you're running comps, you have to have access to MLS data or a software that will show that stuff, kind of like PropStream. So I'm going to call this number. And I'm going to start running some comps here. Now we're going to call some lead house leads too. This number's not even dialing.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, hi, who's this?
My name's Steven. I think my partner spoke with you a while back about a property you're looking to sell on Elaine Drive.
Okay.
Did I catch it a good time?
Just doing something right now, but are you a buyer or a wholesaler?
So we do everything, but we actually close on the properties. Are you the owner?
Everybody says that. No, I'm the person in contract, so that's why I just want to see, are you guys the buyers or the wholesaler?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this one wouldn't be something that we would actually take down, but I appreciate your time.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Do direct to seller. Otherwise, it's just you got to focus on direct to seller, especially when you're starting out. You can't go after properties. You maybe didn't know this because a lot of you are new, some are experienced. But if you're starting out, go direct to seller. Don't go try to get it under contract from a wholesaler and pretend to be the end buyer. Like we'll JV with other wholesalers, right? If there's somebody wholesaling a house, can we close on it? Yes. The preferred exit strategies and assignment, depending on where it's at, the numbers. We do have the ability to close. Do we want to close on a property in Texas in the neighborhood I've never been in? No. But if you're not dealing directly with the seller, then just don't focus on those. Those deals can work, but I want you to go after the low-hanging fruit. Okay, go after the stuff that you can get done quickly. All right, let's go to another one here. This one is in San Antonio, Texas, Palo Blanco Street. All right, and is this off market? It is off market. Okay, and it looks like it needs some work. That's great. Let me close some of these tabs here. So what's the story with this one? Let me see. This house looks familiar. I feel like this maybe has been submitted before. You know, everybody goes after the same list and same properties. The secret is who's on the other side of the phone, who's negotiating the deal, making the offer for you. Okay. Anyways, this is a house. Needs some work. Hasn't had major work updates. Owner hasn't taken any indoor pics. Tired landlord. Got my postcard in the mail. Very nice. Off market, no pics yet. He called me responding to my postcard this Monday. He's been renting it out for 10 plus years. I said I or my team would call later this week. Perfect. Direct mail works. It just takes a few hits, but if they're going, any homeowners are reaching out to you is always great. All right, seller's name, Mr. Hernandez. So let's give Mr. Hernandez a call. And let's learn a little bit more about their situation, why they want to sell. Let's press in the pain point. So they didn't put an asking price.
I'm sorry, the person you are trying to reach has a voice.
I made a video on how to get an asking price out of somebody. Make sure you go back to the videos and check it out. Let me try calling this gentleman one more time. And I'm going to be running some comps here. Prop stream, he has this 100% free and clear.
I'm sorry, the person you are trying to reach has a voicemail.
Now, if it's rented, we have to find out if this is a month-to-month or annual lease and what it's being rented for, because some of these buyers they will buy, based off of 1% of what it's rented at, how long the tenant's been in there, all that stuff. Let me see. You put in here, tenant's been there for 10 years. So those are some loyal tenants. Also, if they've been there for 10 years, are they paying market rent? I don't know if they're going to be paying market rent. I doubt it, especially tenants have been there for a long time. I've seen people in these houses for a long time, and they're on month to month, and I don't, it is what it is. But this property, let me look at some comps. I see 3 solid comps. It looks like the ARV is $95,000. $95,000. Yeah, this is actually a really good comp here. You would probably have to be somewhere. Oh, hold on a second. That's actually the highest sold. Let me see if the quality of this renovation. Oh yeah, this is renovated, but like the inside, it doesn't look too good on the outside. I think the ARV is a little bit higher, but not much higher. Not much higher. So I don't see anything crazy. I do see another one sold. Oh, this one's actually renovated too. See? Let me show you what I'm looking at here. This property right here. It's like it's unfinished a little bit. That's sold for 66. There's another one that's sold for 95. So I'd be very cautious. Oh, hold on a second. There's another one right here. Oh, there's 2 in the back, actually. Here we go. Here's one that sold for 174. Estimated price. Unfinished rehab. This is probably the photos will look like before. If a property was listed and sold, if it was listed on the MLS as an investment property, sometimes it'll only show the photos of what it looked like before the investor bought it. But it shows the price it sold at after they flipped it. So just make sure that you're comparing, you're looking at the listing dates, the dates it was bought and sold, because sometimes you'll see a really ugly house, according to the photos, sell for like 175, but then, but then the pictures just look not that good. Okay. All right, cool. So that one, I think you can maybe go up to 80, right? It depends on the real condition it's in. Okay. All right, awesome. Let's call let's see what lead house. Let's see what we got with lead house here. Next Friday, I'll be doing a special event. Let me make sure I got this on my calendar here. Yeah. So I'm gonna have the deal desk next Friday as well. But at 4 p.m., I'll be doing some live calls for a couple of hours with a special guest I'll announce next week. And we're only going to be calling Lead House Leads. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure you guys tune into that. More details to come, but that's going to be a lot of fun. All right, so let's go over here. Let's see what we got. All right, Castlewood, Virginia. Castlewood, Virginia. Okay, so there's some photos here of Castlewood, Virginia on Zillow. So those are either old photos when the seller bought the property, or they are expired listing photos. So you always want to ask people that. I mean, this house looks like it's in great shape, but what's the situation with this? anytime there's photos, that's one thing I go straight to the transaction history, because there's a reason there's photos on there. And if they just bought it and they're trying to resell it, you really want to dig in on, okay, well, you just bought this. Why do you want to sell it? But there's your photos if you have some, if they just bought it recently. Oh, looks like these are 3-year-old photos. Dang, that's a pink bathroom. All right. So it looks okay. I mean, all right. So what's the story with this one? Because they filled out a form. House fire. Reason for selling, house fire. So it probably looks nothing like this. All right. Well, with house fires, I automatically look at the comps. I approach the conversation as dirt value, land value, because I don't know to what extent the fire damage. Some of these fire damage properties, it's not too bad, but I assume the worst. I'm overly conservative when it comes to those, because a house fire can affect everything: electric, plumbing. Obviously the roof, all that stuff. So let's give this this seller a call, Mr. McNabb. Let's run some comps on it. Dialing, but not ringing.
Please leave your message for.
Call them one more time. They didn't really fill out too much information. Let's see what the
Please leave your message for.
Bobby Joe.
Sorry.
No answer. Let's go to the next one. All right. Alexis in Columbia, Missouri. Sometimes these people fill out these forms. Oh, actually, it's not listed. I thought it was listed. Some people that fill these forms and they say the property's not listed, and then you see that it's listed. And, I don't know why people do that. Select that it's not listed. But you can actually use that as a negotiation tool in the conversation. Say, hey, you filled out on the form that's not listed, but I see that it's listed. Maybe the agent didn't take it down. Maybe it's still an active listing. And it's funny because some people will fill out the form, it's not listed, and they'll actually ask a higher price than what it's actually listed for. And, I still don't understand. What is this? They got like a giant red ball in front of their house. Anybody know what this is right here? I don't know what that is. Looks like an apple. Maybe it's a decoration or something. Okay, so this is a nice house. Why do they want to sell it? We had to move for family issues. Okay. That's all they put. They didn't really put much information. It did show that it was a previous listing, though. So when I copy and paste this address to Google, sometimes it'll show an MLS number. But when I click on it, it doesn't show as an active listing. Okay, so there's 2 addresses here. Let me see. I think it's this one here. There we go. Okay, good size lot. Yeah, I don't see any information about a previous listing. This one, they have another property. Maybe it's a subdivided lot. Pulled off market in 2022 for $107,000. It was on the market for 223 days. All right, let's give them a call and see if they pick up. One of your leads here. Somebody.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to.
There's a great area. We're closing on one today. Yeah, I think 11 o'clock. Yeah, it should have closed about an hour ago. I'll have to check. But we're closing one in Sefner today. I'll have to make a case study about 2 deals we got this week because it's something about the house is it came with something that usually doesn't happen. I'll make a video about it. Let me try calling this lead one more time. And then I'm gonna try to run some comps. It looks like there's right next to each other. Older home. Oh no, they bought this for 100. 107, they couldn't sell it. Small town. Why can they sell for 100,000? I mean, there's a comp right here for 204.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available.
Kind
At the
of,
tone, please record your message.
Properties that are in very rural areas, but the numbers just make sense. Like, for example, I see a good comp. Our property is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1488. Okay, built 1958. Now, I see a comp that sold, what is this, 5 months ago for 204, right down the street. So, I don't know what they're asking, but I know that a long time ago, three or 4 years ago, they were trying to get 100 for it. But the population is low in this area. There's not much traction. So when it comes to these kinds of properties, I actually start talking bad about the cash offer. I try to redirect the homeowner. Hey, the cash offer probably wouldn't make sense. Even if I got under contract, right? Who am I going to sell this to? Because there's not many investors. If any, I don't think there's any here. Okay, so novations are the play to do with these. If you're not familiar with what a novation is, you're basically partnering up with a homeowner and listing the property on the market. Okay. Anyways, let's go to this next one in Sefner. I really like Sefner, Brandon area. We are buyers in the Brandon area, the Sefner area. We are looking for a few more houses. We will turn it up in Q1. We are closing on one today. Anything in the Brandon area and Sefner area, I did post my buy box in the community so you can see exactly what we're looking for. Okay, so we are buyers as well. All right. Let's take a look at this one. This looks good. Okay. So this is Lloyd Street in Sefner, Florida. It's listed. Okay. It's listed. Now, if I'm looking at properties for our company to buy, you kind of have an advantage because I'm calling the lead based on what we would buy it at. And I mean, you submitted the lead. It's like you're submitting an address and you have a buyer built in. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. Let's take a look at the condition of this. Okay, there's a good sized lot. This property's in great. Oh, there's a floor plan. I like that. By the way, was this made with Kubi Casa? It was. If you guys haven't heard of Kubi Casa, I am not affiliated with the company in any way, shape, or form, but I have used them. It's a great way to scan the property. It doesn't cost. I mean, there's a free version. They try upselling you on a pro and all that stuff, but you can scan. Try it out with your own house. See how accurate it is. It's called Kubi Casa. Okay, this house is clean. It's in great shape. So what's the story? It's listed for $265, a 3/2/1146, built 1959. 3 days, 71 saves with 730 views. Rare find in Sefner. Discover the perfect blend of potential and value with 0.55 acre property featuring blah, 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 zoning, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Let's run the comps on this. Before I call, and I'm only doing this on the deal desk because you guys know I don't run comps before I call the homeowner. Like in our actual business, we don't run comps before we call. And you shouldn't either because it could take a long time, especially for somebody brand new. And then you do all this comps. Great, you know your numbers. But if the person doesn't pick up the phone, you've just wasted that amount of time you could have used to call people. Get people on the phone first and then run the numbers. Okay? And if you're new and you're still getting familiar with running comps, gather all the information and tell them you're going to call them back. And then that's when you want to run your numbers. Okay, don't try to do everything at once over the phone, the first phone call. Now, the only reason I'm going to run comps on here is because this is the deal desk. These aren't my leads. These are your leads that you submit to me. And I want you to know where you need to be at just in case they don't answer the phone. Okay, this house is in great shape. Now, even though it's in great shape and I see a lot of interest on it, doesn't mean that it's a great price for an investor because we don't know who the buyer is going to be on this, right? This could be a rental. Okay, I see a flip sold for 220. Dang, hold on. Oh, that's a multifamily. Hold on. We gotta change this category. If you start seeing all these kind of funky price points like 220, 550, make sure that you're actually looking at the property type on the comp end. It's a big backyard. Okay. This is really close to the one we just closed on today. But the square footage of our property is 1146. I see a perfect comp that sold for 220. They flipped it for 330 though. Is ours block? I think it was, right? Yeah, it's block. Okay. Well, this one looks similar. Look at this one. This is actually a pretty good comp. That year built is a little bit different, but wait, does ours have a garage? It does not. That makes a big difference. So I don't think the ARV is going to be the same as ours. This one sold for 330. I'm pretty sure this is a full renovation on the inside as well. So we're going to look at the realtor.com. Yeah, this is a full renovation. So the ARV is 330 for this one. I don't think our ARV is 330 because our property is built in 1959. This one's 1983. So a little bit different. You don't want to go that far out when you're looking at comps. Okay. Let's look at another one. Always try to look at least 3 comps that are solid. Here we go. 210, 332. Okay, this one looks good too. This one has a carport. This sold for 332. Wow. This is also brick. It looks like they're all selling at least north of 300,000. Oh, hold on a second. I see one that sold for 215. This isn't renovated though. Okay, so let me pull up PropStream and see if I can find anything else. I like cross-referencing the comps because sometimes you'll see some comps on one that the other software may not have. The kitchen looks great. This is a light rehab. And what I'm trying to look for is really the common denominator. Now, obviously, guys, I can't show my screen to keep your leads confidential, but I do have a video explaining step-by-step how I run comps on all these. I think the ARV is a little bit over 300,000. Okay, so the asking price of 265 doesn't make sense for an investor. For an investor, it doesn't make sense. For homeowner, that that might work. For an investor, I don't think it's going to work. Okay, let me see. So here's one for 400. That's different property. 335, 330, 315. Here's one for 315. Dang, but that's built 2003. Yeesh. Let's look at this 309. Okay, this is renovated. I'm going to be conservative and say this is an ARV of 300,000 because these other properties that are selling 315, 305, I mean, this is just built 2003, way, way different than ours. And this is what I'm talking about. Okay, you see our house? Look at the front, right? When I'm looking at this comp, look at this one. I can't compare this. And this is 2003. Okay? That's 2003. So you always want to keep that in mind when you're underwriting these properties, because if you see a much newer house sell for 315, you got to look at a lot more. So if I see newer built houses selling for that much, I'm actually going to filter the year built. Okay? So what am I looking for now? I'm looking for the highest sold property that has the most comparable year built. And you'd be surprised. Some of these older homes can actually sell for more than newer houses. That's how it is in some areas. Don't ask me why. That's just how it is. It doesn't matter what we think. We just got to look at the facts. For example, here's one. This was built in 1954 and it sold for $400,000. Now, why in the world would it sell for that much? Oh, the lot size. That's why. It's a much bigger lot. And it looks like it's commercially zoned. You got to look at all these details. Other than that, the oldest house that sold the highest is 250. Actually, not even. That's a multifamily. So you have 163. So this is why it's so important to really dig in the comps. I think, our MAO, we'd probably be 150. That's where we'd be at. So they're asking 265. Our MAO is around 150. I see that they bought this for $50,000. They have 100% equity. Now, this would be a good terms deal because according to what I see, it's free and clear. So if it's free and clear, I can get as creative as I want. The problem is that it's listed, right, with an agent. So I can't, if you're trying to pitch an agent a creative finance structure and they don't even understand what that means, it's easier for them to say no. Okay. I would be interested in this if it was on terms. Other than that, I'd be at 150. They're asking 265. I don't think it's a good fit for an investor, but it is getting traction, probably not from investors though. You should be making offers on everything. Don't be scared to make offers that you feel would offend people because, you make offers low. Sometimes it'll hurt people's feelings, but, you're an investment company and you're not going to be a good fit for everybody. And that's what I tell people. With agents, it's a little bit different of an approach. Sometimes it's a little bit tricky to get some agents on the phone. A little bit tricky.
Hi, you've reached Danielle Zedner with Ford Executive Realty. I'm excited to have.
Let's call again. Double dial. Always double dial. Oh, hold on a second. I forgot to click. There we go. This looks good.
Hi, this is Danielle.
Hey, Danielle. My name's Steven. I saw your
let's
listing on
get
Lloyd
moving.
Street. Are you still accepting offers for it?
On which one? Sorry.
This is on Lloyd Street.
Oh, on Lloyd Street. Yes. Yep, we still are.
Okay. Did I catch you at a good time? I had a few questions about it.
Yeah, you're good. I'm at the Junior Women League event in Tampa, but no, you're good.
Okay, no problem. I really like the area. We're actually closing on one in Sefner today. We're trying to look for a few more. We're an investment company, so I may or not be a fit for it, but I figured I just asked a few questions. I was looking at the description. The main things that we care about really is the big ticket items: roof, AC, electric, plumbing.
So the roof is, I believe, 10 years old. The AC, I believe, is 12. Hot water heater is actually like in a case in the kitchen, so I didn't see the date on it.
Yeah.
It's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath is the primary home, and then you walk outside onto the back porch, and there's an entrance to the 1-bedroom, 1-bath. It was an added ADU or an added attachment, and then it's got the half acre, which of course is zoned RDC 12.
Oh, there's an ADU in the back?
No. It's attached. It's an attached. Yeah, I guess it's an ADU and law suite, but yeah, it's an attached 1-bedroom, 1-bath off of the house. So that the primary house is 2-bedroom, 1-bath. And then there's a 1-bedroom, 1-bath that's attached off the patio.
Off the patio.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is that shown?
Yeah, they were renting it out, and now currently someone just lives in the main house.
Is that mother-in-law suite in the photos?
I did not because it was full of boxes.
Okay. Now, if I'm looking at that satellite view, can I see it from the satellite view?
Well, it'll be attached, so I don't know that it would look any different than just the back. Like it just probably just looks like the house.
Okay.
It's just got its separate entrance.
And that's a 1-1 in that.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't notice that. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think that the homeowner is flexible on the price? Are they motivated or?
I mean, they're motivated. I mean, they don't want to, crazy. I mean, we've already gotten a couple offers that are much lower. Obviously, they wanted it, and they know it needs work. They know it's not perfect. But I tried to price it well enough that was under where some people would start it at, maybe, but not as low as as I could have priced it to get more attention. But yeah, they're motivated.
Okay.
They know it needs work. So
Is it possible to take a look at this next week?
yes.
What day work for the homeowners usually?
Hold on, look at my calendar. Do you have your realtor? Do you have a realtor license or broker license? Someone that could tour with you, or do you need to take you through?
We're a buyer. We have an agent that.
Oh, sorry. Hold on.
So.
Hold on, my phone's acting crazy. Hold on one sec. Okay, sorry. What was that?
No, I was saying we're not agents. We're buyers.
Oh, okay. So I'd accompany you. Okay, hold on. Let me look at my calendar. Could you do Monday?
Monday. Let me see. Monday. What do I have going on Monday? I'm actually looking at another house Monday morning. Oh wait, no. That's.
I could do like Monday at 2:30.
Yeah, that might work. Okay. Let me ask you this: what offers have they turned down?
Well, we only gotten the one in hand, and it was under 200.
You don't think so? You think around? That's kind of like where I was actually, somewhere around there. I didn't know about the mother-in-law suite, but that with the mother-in-law suite, I'd probably be around that price point. You think that's even worth setting something up?
I honestly don't know unless I present it. I don't know. Lately, it's hard to know with sellers and buyers unless it's put in front of them. But I mean, I do know they want to sell. But so far we just got the one in hand. We've just had a lot of showings and a lot of interest.
That's good. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me confirm with my partner. We can do Monday at 2:30. Can I text or call you back at this number?
Yeah. Text me back and just give me your name and your the investment or the company you work with or whatever. And and let me know if that time works, and I'm happy to meet you out there.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for the call.
Bye.
All right, bye.
I didn't see nothing about a mother-in-law suite in this description. Let me see this real quick. Yeah, that's a selling point. That is a selling point. Our office is not too far from this property, so I think it would be worth a walkthrough. But the thing is, real estate agents usually won't tell you what their highest offers are, right? So I like flipping the question. Hey, what offers have they turned down? Well, we had an offer, a little bit over 200,000 or less than 200,000. So yeah, no, this could be a good one. I would be interested in taking a look at it. So who submitted this one? I think this was somebody from the community. Darla, I think you submitted this. Yes. Okay, perfect. Guys, I'm going to call some more Lead House leads, but before I get into them, Lead House is actually launching commercial seller leads. And if you know anything about commercial deals, they're much bigger deals, right? So commercial seller leads, multifamily, mobile home parks, commercial land, self-storage, mixed use, office, hospitality. Those are way bigger deals. The sellers are a lot more, the cost of those leads are a lot higher, but I'm sure they could hook you up with something. But they're launching that soon. And if I, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but is that live, Lead House, or are you guys launching that soon? That is a game changer. I don't really know of any other companies that offer PPC for commercial. I know that people usually market to those kinds of properties with direct mail. Who's this? Let's see. direct mail, text blasting, but those are much bigger deals. So if you can get your hands on inbound, anything inbound, commercial, and land, that's going to be a game changer for sure. All right, let's call some more. Let's call some more leads. Hold on a second. Is asking if they can get in and start working. Dang, they got to close on it first. Hold on a second. No, the buyer. Hold on. Did we close? If not, no way. Listen, I don't know if we close on this property yet. The buyer wants to know if they can start working on one of the bathrooms, and he wants to see with the seller if that's okay. No way, Jose. You know, as crazy as that sounds, my very, very first deal, for those of you that don't know this, my very first deal, oh, they're signing about 10 minutes. The seller. Okay, the buyer's already signed, the seller's in 10 minutes. My very first deal, long story short, before the buyer closed on the property, it started ripping off the floors, renovating the kitchen. I'm like, man, and little did I know, I mean, I was new, but I know that common sense is, why are you renovating a house if you don't even own the house? You got to own it first, right? Very messy deal for an introduction to this industry. Thank God everything worked out okay. And but yeah, just don't ever, I know buyers want to get a head start, but first you got to close on the property. Nothing counts until the deal is done. The buyer already signed the doc, seller's about to sign in 10 minutes. Okay. Just in time for Christmas. Nice. What is your fee in a novation deal? Great question. So we don't do a novation unless the average fee is like $20K, right? And the thing with novations is that it's not like you look at ARV comps and all that stuff. You're going to look at properties that sold as is condition. I like taking 90% minus 30,000 just to be conservative. We have closed novation. We have a lot more in the pipeline that are scheduled to close before the end of the year. They are much longer term plays. And I always explain it to homeowners. Listen, imagine if you listed, you could hire an agent, you list the property, but you'd be responsible for closing costs, fees, and commissions. With our retail buyer program, we use one of our local investor-friendly agents to list the property, and you don't have to pay any closing costs, fees, or commissions. And you don't have to deal with anything. We handle the whole process from A to Z. If you do decide to go that route, it takes between 30 to 90 days. It's the best way to get the highest price possible without having to deal with the hassle of negotiations and dealing with an agent. What do you think? And, you know, typically they're like, oh, okay, right? And they're interested. And I think we have like 6 or 7 novations right now. But that's how I kind of pitch it. I have pitched some of them in the past on the show. Let's go to some more leads here. I did call this one. They didn't pick up the phone. Guys, remember that a lot of people right now, the month of November, we have Thanksgiving coming up. Okay, we have Christmas next month, New Year's after that. Okay, right now is your time to step on the gas. Do not hold back. Do not slow down. A lot of people are like, holidays are slow. Everything's slow. I'm just going to chill and I'll, you know, my New Year's resolution is to get deals in January, but I'm not going to make any calls right now. Some people have that mentality. And let me tell you, you will not get contracts early Q1 if you don't get the contracts now. Whatever you get now, it's going to close in December or January. November, when you're speaking with motivated sellers, they want to get this stuff done before Thanksgiving, before Christmas. Okay, but you have to get the contract first. So motivated sellers that want to sell, there's actually a bump, right? Lead House, part of the perks is working with them is we have a Slack channel, and they give us a little insight on what they're seeing in the market. They give us like a little newsletter, okay? And one of the things that I like that they put in here, because I love analytics and all that stuff, November historically sees a 12 to 15% bump in motivated seller inquiries compared to December. It's the last major wave before the holiday slowdowns. Okay? The last major wave before the holiday slowdowns. So during the holidays, you can still get deals. Are you going to get as much as November, January? No. You should still be, you got to just step on the gas. So do not give up. If you haven't closed your first deal, you just have to stay consistent. Once you close that first deal, everything changes. So just stay consistent. Okay. But I just want to let you know that because a lot of people tend to kind of just relax, right before Thanksgiving, Christmas. You need to step on the gas is what you got to do. Ooh, Oklahoma, Edmond, Oklahoma. Man, we just closed on one a while back in Edmond. So let's see this one. Oh, this one looks like a really nice house. Okay. And there's photos here, which is good. I don't know if this was from an old listing or not. Anytime it's an inbound lead, like you can never judge what the house looks like because, if you go after properties that are listed with an agent, the house looks fully renovated. That's one thing. But if they are filling out a form because they want to sell off market and the house is in great shape, that's another thing. Okay. Look at this house. Look how nice this thing is. Sometimes you can get nice houses too. Why do they want to sell this house? Ready to purchase new home. Okay. So I'm already thinking, let me look at the stats here real quick. Let me look at the numbers real quick before I call. I'm not going to run comps. I just want to see what they bought it for, how much equity they have. Because sometimes I do bring that up during the conversation. Hey, you just bought this last year or last month. They bought this 5 years ago, 2020. Perfect. They don't really have much equity in it, though. All right, let's give them a call. Let's see what we can do with it. Let's see how motivated they are. Remember, motivation is determined by reason and time frame over purchase price anytime. Okay, so don't get scared if the house is in really nice shape. I mean, it looks great. I think these are photos from 2022 when they purchased them. It says dialing, but it's not ringing. We'll wait a little bit more. MLS details. Yeah, these are photos from when they bought.
You have reached the voicemail of Adam Gutierrez.
Let's try again. Yeah, this is these photos are almost 6 years old. If anything, it should look better than this.
You have reached the voicemail of Adam Gutierrez with Farmgate Animal Home.
He doesn't feel like talking to me right now. That's okay. We're going to put him in discovery. Now, when I look at this kind of property and it's in this good shape, and when was this built? This is built 2008, so it's not a old fixer-upper property. These kinds of houses usually end up being really good novations or terms. The whole cash offer thing, I don't know what they want for it. Like I didn't get a chance to speak with them, but novations and terms work phenomenal for these properties. Obviously, you got to dig in the details. How much is on a mortgage? What's the principal? The interest, the taxes, insurance, all that stuff. But they got a 3.1 interest rate. That's great. That is really good. There's deals out there. Think about this. I'll give you a hypothetical example. What if you spoke with a motivated seller and they own this house in your market, and let's say the ARV is $400,000 and they were open to 5 to 10% down, $20,000 to $40,000, and the house is worth $430,000, and you're taking over their mortgage or you're structuring a seller financing deal. Those deals are the best deals. I mean, They're great. We're closing on one in hopefully next week in Memphis, Tennessee. That way, and we got a fully renovated house. I think it's worth like 130. We're getting it for like 12K down. Those deals are out there. All right, cool. Let's call the next one Mrs. Granberry. This is in Houston, Texas. Houston, Texas. Remember, in Texas, non-disclosure state, have to have a software or MLS access to really get a good look at the comps. This doesn't have nothing on. Hold on. This shows an old MLS number on here, but there's nothing on here. So I don't know what's going on with that. That's okay. All right. So why do they want to sell? Moving out of state. We're just going to give them a call. And let's see what we can do if they answer the phone. Meanwhile, I'm going to see if I can find some old listing here. There we go.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up.
It's not a townhome or a huge house. No, this is definitely a townhome. Okay. Townhomes and condos or semi-detached, row homes, those are always way easier to comp because they're in a neighborhood that's just cookie cutter. Everything looks the exact same. So those are usually very, very easy to comp. Let me call this lady back one more time. Double dial always, because especially if they have an iPhone or let's say they put on Do Not Disturb, the call won't ring unless you call twice. For those of you that didn't know that. That is the thing.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished.
All right, they didn't pick up the phone. I'm looking at the comps though. Oh, this house is in excellent shape. I mean, these are older photos, but this ARV is easily around 280. They have a lot of equity. They got it for they only owe 82K. They only owe 82K. Now, if the person's moving out of state and they're using the funds of the sale of the primary home that they're talking to you about to fund the new home, sometimes that won't work for terms because there's debt to income ratio and debt and all that stuff. But you want to make sure that that you pre-qualify these people and that the terms make sense for them. And really explain it to people in a language they understand. I don't want to I don't want to use the word sub 2 or creative finance. I just simply say, hey, would you be, if we can pay your price, would you be open to our terms? What does that look like? Well, what if we paid full market value, the exact price you're asking in the form of, monthly payments? I don't talk interest. I don't talk terms like the length. I want to keep it as simple as possible. And as long as they show some slight interest in that, then I'm going to dig in the numbers. Great. What's your mortgage? How much time? What are the monthly payments? What's the interest? Does that include taxes and insurance? Ask all those questions. It's really important. Okay. Awesome. In the community, I'm going to have another giveaway. Last month, I gave away 10,000 Skip Trace records for free. I'm thinking about some new ideas for the month of December. I'll give out a few prop stream accounts. I will give out maybe a Skip Trace AI driving for dollars list. That would be cool. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. 10,000 Skip Trace AI driving for dollars records. As a matter of fact, the deal we closed Wednesday, was it Wednesday? That came from an AI driving for dollars. Okay. And it came with a car. And the deal we're closing today is coming with a car too. I mean, it's going crazy right now. Thank God. But things are great. AI driving for dollars is something that a lot of people, I don't know how many people are using it, but the technology is just insane. I mean, anybody knows that driving for dollars, you got to drive around your neighborhood. The robot scans a city or neighborhood within minutes and gives you a list. So I don't know. I think that'd be a cool gift, a cool price. So I'll keep you posted on the details. Go make some calls, make some offers. If you're in the community and you need me, shoot me a message. Guys, have a blessed weekend.